Welcome back to the Corner of Whimsy and Bliss. I am your host, Kina Renee, and I'm just popping in to say hello and just kind of touch base with all of you wonderful gardeners out there. It's become my favorite thing to talk about these days, and gardening, that is, has become my favorite thing to talk about. And not everybody in my actual life wants to talk about it. So, I started this channel as a way of one, journaling and documenting my growth as a gardener. I do hope one day to become a master gardener. I have aspirations to go to school. I would like to study horticulture, and I have some great ideas for some community outreach things, some development projects, and I feel like strengthening my knowledge base is going to be pivotal in terms of how I execute those dreams. But really, it's just to hang out with other people who like to garden. I want to see your beautiful spaces, all the great plants. I want to see the flowers, the seeds, your setup, your organization, your drip system, how you put your gardens together. I just love it. It's so inspirational. It's so inspiring. It's motivational, and it makes me feel connected. Because again, not everyone in my real life wants to hear about plants and soil and pollinators. They just don't care. So here I am. I want to talk with the people who speak my language at the moment. So today I just want to pop in. I wasn't able to get out into the garden because we do have another storm that kind of chased me inside. And I know one day a time will come where I will pray and beg God for rain because, I'll need it to take care of my plants and, provide that way. But at the moment, I need a break. I need a break from all the rain so that I can get some work done out there. I do work from home, so I am typically indoors for 10 hours a day. I work 4 10s. So I pop up, I get up about 5, pop out into the garden, take a look, check the soil, if there's anything that needs to be watered, if there's anything that needs to be pruned, if I need to chase away any bad bugs, if I can harvest a few things, then I do. Then I come in and prepare myself for my work day and, spend the day inside, peeking out of my window to look at my garden, wondering what's going on out there, wondering how my apple tree is doing, wondering if the sun is, roasting everything. Occasionally I will pop out. I have to put umbrellas up over some of my plants because it gets very hot here in northern Alabama, and it is July 2025 when the sun does decide to come out in my southern facing garden where there is full sun. The sun suns. It is hot, and my poor little plants, I can see them drooping under the heat. So I already had a couple of umbrellas, and then I went and ordered some of the large oval umbrellas that will kind of cover a larger space. I'll have to share those in another video, but they're really awesome. They're, I want to say they're about 15 feet by 9 feet. And then I also ordered like, a mesh cover that goes over them. In my mind, I'm thinking that I'll be able to put the umbrella over, let's say, my whiskey barrels where my sweet potatoes are, and then zip them in the mesh to prevent any of the bad bugs from getting to them. And the same for my grow bags, put those umbrellas over the grow bags and, zip them in to keep the bad guys out, in theory. And that's kind of one of those things that I'm finding very interesting about gardening. And in my real life, I plan everything down to the minute, the most infinite detail. That's just kind of how my brain works. And that doesn't work in gardening because nature is going to nature, as the kids would say. It cannot be controlled. It's not something that can be predictable. Nature can be very unpredictable, and even projects and things that, you're trying to plan out to the tiniest detail. Prime example, all of the soil that I've been trying to order in to fill up all these grow bags and whiskey barrels and raised beds. One of the things that I ordered in was coconut coir. I ordered enough to fill everything, and I'm ordering it based on square footage, because each one of my raised beds, once configured, will be 87 cubic feet. So I ordered enough mulch to cover, the bottom half of each one of the beds. I ordered enough composted cow manure, enough mushroom compost, enough worm castings, enough, I thought, of everything, until I got to the coconut coir. Now, it was advertised that each brick of coconut coir was 10 pounds, and that 10 pounds would expand to 2.25 cubic feet of soil. That's what it was advertised as. So I budgeted and planned based on those specifications until the coconut coir arrived, and I'm unpackaging everything, inspecting everything. And this particular brand, which I will not mention the name, but it is not Plantronics. It's not them. They are fantastic. It's a different brand, because I was trying to save, $10 per brick, which is significant when you have to order, 40 bricks of coconut coir. But this particular brand, each one of the bricks were a different size. Each brick weighed it was a different weight. None of the bricks weighed 10 pounds. Okay? Again, it was advertised as weighing 10 pounds and expanding to 2.25 cubic feet. So if each brick that I received does not weigh 10 pounds, how is it going to expand to 2.25 cubic feet? Which throws off my entire calculation for my soil mix, which meant I had to order more coconut coir. So again, trying to be a planner and treat treat gardening the way that I would a project at work, it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. And that has been one of those learning moments for me that I didn't expect, and it didn't feel good. That part of my brain that really enjoys the organization, seeing a project come together, seeing every bit of planning just fall into place. I didn't get that satisfaction, right? And so it started to feel overwhelming to me. It started to feel as though it started to feel like a failure. I started to feel like a failure, and I was starting to get that sense of woe and defeat and overwhelm. But then I had to remember that the reason we did all of this, the reason why I wanted to get into all of this, wasn't because I wanted to execute a perfect project. It was because I wanted to grow healthy food. I wanted to grow beautiful flowers. I wanted to spend time outside in the fresh air, getting some sunshine, getting some exercise, and enjoying seeing the miracles that is nature. And that's what I had to remember, that you just cannot control the miracle that is life, that is growth. Something as tiny as some of these seeds are, in reality, we have no control over what any of it does. It literally is dependent upon the right conditions, right? Soil, the right soil, sunlight, rain, and whether or not God speaks it into existence. Period. So coming to that realization kind of put things back into perspective for me, made it a lot more fun again. And then, of course, being able to actually execute on some of the smaller projects that still need to happen. Granted, I have to move all of the soil. I have to build the beds. I have to plant 6 tiers worth of seedlings between now and my first frost date, which is November 10th. I got to get these things planted. It has to happen, but I have to enjoy the small victories, which is why I'm here. I want to share with you guys my seeds. Again, new gardener, excited, overindulgent, definitely obsessive, wanting to have this really beautiful, curated, very specific, beautiful garden. I did order a lot of my seeds based on preference. You know, I read every single description of the seeds. I'm looking up flavor profiles for kohlrabi, looking up recipes for, amaranth, because I want to know if this is something that, I will like. I didn't buy the seeds that I chose just because they're beautiful. They are beautiful. The plants will be beautiful. But, at the end of the day, I bought them because I wanted to be able to reap the benefits, the health benefits. I wanted to be able to do green juice, green smoothies, again, have a more plant-based or plant-focused diet. I mean, obviously, I do still eat, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I'm not opposed to, eating meat or whatnot. I just know that for what I'm trying to do for my health, like I'm trying to correct some inflammation issues, some, gut health issues, hormonal issues. I am middle-aged and the body just doesn't work the way that it did when I was 25. So I'm trying to correct a lot of things. And I know what I did in the past when I've really focused on incorporating more plants into my diet. I felt better. I could move better. I could think better. And so that's what I'm trying to capture again. And I knew that the only way that I'd truly be able to do it is if I could take my little basket into my backyard, harvest it fresh, come on back in the house, whip up a smoothie, whip up a stir fry, whip up a beautiful salad. That's the only way that I'm going to really be able to do it, because I just couldn't afford to purchase it all. So enough talking. Let me show you my seeds. And I have to warn you, it is ridiculous. So I'll give you a little bit of a pan of what we're working with. So here is like my little stash. So there are seeds in here. There's seeds in this little guy. Oops. There's seeds in this book. Seeds in this thing. So let me get you set up again so I can just show you. So it's embarrassing. No judgment, please. Again, I was excited and passionate about growing a beautiful organic garden. So I went a little nuts. Now, some of the companies that I have been really enjoying, and why I've been enjoying them is because the seeds they come through. The germination rate has been incredible. The plants have been strong. The plants have been ready to go even when I wasn't. I'm starting these things as a newbie before I even had the beds, the bags, the soil. I'm starting plants because I'm excited. And so I lost some of my seedlings because I just wasn't ready. But some of the companies that I've been working with, it didn't pain me to lose some of the seedlings because they're very generous with the amount of seed that they send. And that is very important. One, because in my case, I wanted to be able to do succession planting. We do have a really long growing season here in northern Alabama, so I knew that I would be able to do multiple rounds of, several plants, of all the plants, really. And so it was important to have plenty of seeds so I could just, keep going. Also, something that was important to me, I wanted to be able to plant enough so that if I made a mistake, or if the pest, if pest pressure, weather pressure, if the plants failed, I had something constantly going to replace it. And these companies were so generous with the seed that even though, I started a few that failed, there was still more than enough to do what I needed to do. So one of the companies that I've really been enjoying is called Gardenary. And, this particular creator, like, I really love her business model. And now, granted, just in full transparency, it's a little gimmicky, a little sales pitchy, a little extra at times, but I get it. She is an entrepreneur, and she is, trying to grow her business, and you have to get in front of folks. And so she's very creative. Like, she's gonna get in your face, but she provides a lot of value in her content and the education that she shares freely. She's also an author. I've purchased her books. This is not sponsored, but I do appreciate the information and how passionate she is about gardening. It's very exciting to watch. So when she introduced seeds as a part of her business model, I was not expecting to see so much. So here's what the package looks like. And this is just a few of them that I have. I have several that I need to pull out. But so this is spinach, and like, I'm gonna put some glasses on so I could see. So what I really love about how she packages her product, if you look here, if you can see that, she has the season. So she specifies the season that you'll want to plant this particular seed, and basically talks about, what it is. Now, this is spinach. Obviously, most of us know that spinach is a cool season crop. It's gonna bolt in the heat. So the fact that she put it on the seed package means that a new gardener like me will not plant this particular seed in the dead heat in the middle of the summer here in Alabama. So in a sense, she's saving me time, money, effort, all of those things. You can't tell by this package, but this package is full, loaded. Like, all of this here is full of seed. There's 8 grams of spinach seed here. Another one of the seeds here, or packages, is the carrots. Again, she has it listed by the season, and one of her philosophies or methodologies is she breaks it down under the categories leaves, roots, and fruit. So the spinach is obviously a leaf. The carrot is obviously a root. So that kind of helps you in knowing the level of difficulty in terms of how it's going to grow, how much time it will take to grow. And she gives a lot of information on the back. Basically speaking directly to, really, I believe, young gardeners, new gardeners, step-by-step instructions. Like for carrots, she's speaking to a raised bed gardener. Prepare the raised bed filled with a sandy loam soil blend. And what a sandy loam soil blend is, it's basically a mixture of, let's say, topsoil, compost, like earthworm castings, and sand, horticultural sand, or even like landscaper sand. One of the really clean versions of sand is the All-American brand of sand that you can get at some of the big box stores. Not the place sand, it's too fine, but the paver sand, it's more of a coarse sand. And what it does in the soil is it makes it light and fluffy, so that when it has structure from the topsoil, there's structure from the topsoil, but then it's also going to be well draining. It'll be nutrient dense. The compost, the manure, the earthworm castings will all feed the soil and help it to retain water where necessary. So the fact that she specifies that carrots need a loamy soil, that's huge, you know. So you're going to be less likely to plant your carrots in some of those thick, chunky raised bed mixes or bag soil mixes that's full of like big pieces of forest material. She also talks about how to sow it, you know, when to sow the seeds, when to thin them, how to thin them, and even harvest. So I think that's huge. Another one is the lettuce. Again, that's a leaf. Radish, that is a root. Zucchini, being a warm season crop, that is a fruit. Green beans, also a warm season crop, that is a fruit. So that's just a few of the seeds that I got from Gardenary. I did order like one of her packets. I want to say it came with like 35 or 40 different seeds. They were really affordable, something like $2 a pack when you figure it all out. And for that amount of seed, the huge savings, right? Another company that I work with that I have really been enjoying is Botanical Interest and Epic Gardening. Now, I do have an affiliate link that I will be including in this video if you want to take advantage of 5% off your next purchase. Feel free to do so. But just know all of these seeds and products and everything were purchased prior to me becoming an affiliate. I chose them because I believed in the product and what they are doing as a company. So these are some of my seeds from Botanical Interest. These are the Botanical Interest seeds. And then Epic Gardening just released a new gardener friendly or specific seed line that is really geared toward helping the new gardener succeed. Like, they've really tested all of the seeds to make sure that the germination rate is reliable, it's consistent. Again, great packaging, super fun packaging. Lots of seeds. Like this particular one is for the warrior bunching onions. It is 1 gram of seed, which is quite a bit for onion seeds. It basically lists how to start the seeds inside, how to sow them outside. There is a QR code so you can get videos to give more insight and information on these particular plants. Gives you seed spacing, seed depth, days to emerge, like lots and lots of information. That's so important for a new gardener. Again, the Botanical Interest seeds, which the OG, the most beautiful packaging I've ever seen. It feels so nostalgic, so vintage. It really is giving like mercantile vibes. You go into those old mercantiles and see you know, bushels and barrels of organic fruits and vegetables, and then you see the seeds and you get inspired where you want to plant them too, in hopes that your crops are going to look as beautiful and healthy and luscious as what you're seeing in the mercantile. That's the vibe that I get from these seed packets. So this one being the King Richard Leeks. Again, lots and lots of information, how to sow inside and out. And let me just take a second to talk about sowing seeds. If you have ever tried to sow seeds, get seedlings started inside, you know, 1, you need to have space. 2, it will take over your home. 3, you must have grow lights. You must have heating pads. And again, it will take over your life. Another thing that you must contend with will be the gnats. And they will happen. You know why? Because you're going to be watering. You may not know how to properly water. You're going to plant your seeds in Dixie cups and solo cups and water bottles and toilet paper rolls, and you know, you're going to start off with all of this stuff, just like yogurt cups, cottage cheese cups, like all the things just to get your seedlings started. You'll be watering like crazy. Most people are going to be watering from the top. You may not have proper drainage, and the gnats will come. The gnats are the worst part of gardening. I am still fighting that. Still. And I started my seeds back, the first round of seeds back in March, and all of those things that I mentioned until I got, my, my proper seed starting materials, which, just so you know, you do not have to purchase, seed starting trays and, the 10, 20 trays. You don't have to have all the cells and all that. You don't. You can get a garden started with little to nothing other than a few seeds, some soil, and some water. But I will be honest with you, if you have the proper equipment, it makes it a lot more fun. It makes it a lot more enjoyable. You're not making as many mistakes. You're not dealing with pests. All of those things are discouraging for a new gardener. So anyway, I forget how I got onto that, but back to the seeds. So those are the leeks. Now what I am doing for my garden, we will be planting, so I have bare root. Okay, so what I want for my garden is what I'm calling an edimental cottage garden. Edimental cottage garden. And what that means to me is not only do I want to be able to have beautiful fruits and veggies, I also want flowers. I also want trees. I also want berries and herbs. And I want them to cohabitate together. I want everything that is growing in my garden, in my yard, on my property in general, to be a mixture of all of these things. So, prime example, in my front yard, I will be planting out my planter beds. I'm hoping to put basil and different herbs and things like that in those planter beds, in addition to all of the beautiful flowers, the seasonal flowers that I would love to see. I may even put a few strawberries out there, maybe some mint in pots, because one, I'm trying to deter pests from coming into, from hovering around my front door. I don't want them in my garage. I want to just keep all of the pests away with those really strong scents. I may plant some spring onions and some garlic out there. Now, driving by or walking by, you won't necessarily realize that it's food because it's just going to look like greens and leaves and things like that. Most of the plants, the fruiting plants, produce flowers in addition to big, beautiful green leaves. So in my mind, I think it's going to be like this evergreen space that is also providing pest control, that is also beautiful, and of course it will also be edible. Now, would I eat the plants that'll be in my front yard? Absolutely not, because at some point someone may let their dog or cat loose that will come and take care of their business in my yard. I would hope that my neighbors are more responsible and they won't let that happen. But because I can't see what's going on at all hours of the day and night, I'll be less inclined to eat the things that are out there. So they'll just be for beauty. Now in the backyard, I will be doing the same thing. So the trees, all of the berry bushes, all of the raised beds, grow bags, pots, everything that will be planted will also have companion planting. So what that means is, in addition to your main crop, there will also be herbs and flowers planted in with them, because the ideal is that certain flowers may attract the pest as a sacrificial plant to keep the pest from your main crop. Other plants with their fragrances, their scents, will repel those bad pests and keep them away from the main crop. They'll also add beauty. I will plant them densely so that they will provide ground cover. They will be basically a living mulch. So some of the things that I buy extra of are plants like alyssum, One, it's going to attract pollinators. It has a kind of sweet honey-like smell. It's beautiful, a very low growing, and the particular varieties that I grow, they're very low growing, close to the soil type of flowers, but they attract the bees. They attract different beneficials because they smell sweet like honey. They're beautiful, but then they will also, through their foliage, offer some protection to the soil. You do not want your soil to dry out. It needs to remain moist enough so that your plants are not, they're not dying of thirst. You do not want your soil dripping wet. It needs to be well draining, but it needs to be able to retain enough. So once you let the soil dry out just enough, it can tap into those, residuals, if you will, that water that's captured in your soil. So that's kind of why I grow additional onions, additional chives, garlic chives, alyssum, nasturtium will be all over the yard, calendula will be all over the yard, pansies, petunias, all of those things will be all over the yard because they attract the pollinators, the beneficials, and again, they work as like a living mulch, and they're beautiful. So another thing that I'm planting as an ornamental, just something beautiful to add texture and whimsy. It's called Crespidia. It's the drumstick flower, really pretty. I should have organized these by what they were, but this is a pineapple tomato. Now I know that I'm nearing the end of the season, so I'll most likely save these until the spring because I don't want to waste them. I want to be able to taste that tomato. Okay, puppy. One of the plants that I suggest every gardener plants would be marigolds, specifically French marigolds. Now this particular one is the signet marigold, which has different properties, different beneficial aspects. Definitely, do a little Google search, do a little chat GPT search on the beneficial aspects of French marigolds and signet marigolds. Burgundy amaranth, oh my gosh. Now for my tea garden, we're going to be doing the candy stevia. I'm going to plant tons of stevia because again, I'm trying to control like blood sugar. I'm trying to lose some weight. I do like to drink tea. I like to have something sweet when I'm having dinner. So I'd rather have it be a plant-based sweetener that won't spike my blood sugar. So just outside, like on the other side of the camera there, just outside of my family room window, which is really close to my kitchen, I will be planting a raised bed that is specific to all things tea. So it'll have plenty of stevia, all the lemon balm, the different mints in pots and grow bags around it. But all of the different herbs and flowers that can be used in different types of teas will be planted in that bed. I envision it to be big and lush and beautiful, full of foliage and beautiful flowers. I'll be including some edible flowers as well that you can use in tea blends as well. Oddly enough, I'm one of those nerds that like I'll purchase a tea, fall in love with it, and then I'll research the different plants that's in it and then go source the seeds so that I can grow it too to make that tea. So that's just one of my fun projects that I have coming. This was just really interesting. This is called the chocolate flower. And I'm gonna make sure that this is edible. I think that it is. So I envision planting this and drying it out in addition to like chocolate mint. Can you imagine? Like you can add that to coffee or cocoa or whatnot in the winter. It would be amazing. Iced coffee even. A lemon drop French marigold. The Mexican sunflower. Again, these are all pollinators and what I'm also calling warrior plants to fight, the bad pests, the root knot nematodes and all of that. This is the red metaphor French marigold, more amaranth. Now these are going to spill over the edges of the bed and I just think that is so stunning. This one is actually called Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth, which I thought was very interesting. This one is the Coral Fountain Amaranth. Again, it'll kind of spill over the edges of the beds just to add some texture, visual interest, attract pollinators. I'm so excited. Now, this is the Kilimanjaro African Marigold. Now, this will be grown, puppy, stop it. This will be grown specifically for the beauty, not for any specific, benefits toward pest control or anything like that. It is not edible, so I'll make sure that it is clearly marked. It won't be in like a tea garden or anything like that. It'll strictly be, a beautiful flower. The Tiny Tim Sweet Alyssum is the plant that I mentioned that smells like honey that the bees and butterflies love. The giant purple zinnia. I have here the Xanthos Cosmo. Again, I'm really going for that cottage style garden. So there'll be tons of zinnias, tons of cosmos, tons of dahlias, marigolds, snapdragons, foxgloves. Like I have all of those things here. My petunia. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to show you those. More French marigolds. Again, this is from the Epic Garden line of seeds specifically. More French marigolds. Cygnets. The Marietta. The naughty Marietta. Signet marigold. And that's just a few of the seeds that I have from Epic Gardening and Botanical Interests. Another one of the seed companies that I am truly loving is called Seeds Needs. This is what the packaging looks like. Again, they are very generous in the amount of seeds that they give you. Love, love, love the packaging. Gives you quite a bit of information on the back of the packaging, so you know exactly how to take care of your plants. One of the things that I am really digging is that QR code that links you to these videos. It's so helpful. And I love that those seeds, the artwork so much. I bought a little, what I'm calling, again, as a new gardener, getting excited, thinking I was going to get all my stuff organized and everything. I bought this binder with all of the, photo slips. But I had so many seeds, it won't close. So what I've decided to do with this is I'm going to treat this as like a memory book. So once I use the seeds, because I love the artwork so much, I will just put the seed packet back in here. So let me just kind of show you some of the seeds that I have from Seeds Needs. Most of these are from Seeds Needs. And again, these are the dividers for the photos that you can get on Amazon. I'll link this particular binder, which I love it. I will eventually do, which I have them, I just need to put them together. I elected to do 3 binders that, at least this is what I thought was going to work. 3 binders. One will be used for kind of the shoulder season, like that in between, the first frost and the last frost. So the plants, all of the vegetables, the herbs, the flowers that would work in those shoulder seasons. One for the cool season and one for the warm season. That way I know exactly what to plant at any given time. It's all neat, it's all organized. All the flowers and seeds and vegetables and all of that for the season will be right there. It takes the guesswork. That is how my brain works, and that I believe is going to work. It's just I cannot put them all, I can't stuff them all in one book. So I will have to go back and reorganize. But the broccoli, the beets, all of the brassicas. But look at the art, it's so beautiful. The herbs, I think that was celery. Like, I just love it. And they're so generous, which is why this book is so fat, because it's so many seeds in each package. You can order these seeds directly through Seeds Needs, and that's SEED. Is it Seed Needs? I believe it's Seed Needs. So SEED Needs, NEEDS. You can order through their website directly. Now, they are one of those companies that once you buy so much, they discount your volume, which helped me tremendously because, of course, I went absolutely nuts when I saw everything that they had. And, you know, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help, rather, that the packaging is so amazing. And so you're planning out your garden and your colorscape and, you know, your height and your texture and the foliage that's going to go with it, like nuts. So they knew what they were doing with this beautiful packaging. But of course, they give you a ton of seeds and then they discount once you buy so much. And it doesn't even take like a lot. I want to say after you've bought, which I don't know, because I was buying like 100 seed packs at a time because I was just crazy. But it doesn't take that much. You don't have to go nuts like that. But all of the different flowers, these are my pride and joys. I do love squash and pumpkins and different gourds and stuff. I like to bake them, roast them, saute them. You know, I'm trying to really infuse my body with more vegetables. Puppy, Auntie's working. Why are you doing that? Auntie's working. You want to make an appearance? Say you didn't let me come say hi, Auntie. Come here. Let the people see you. Come, puppy. Come on. Come on. If you're not going to come, then you have to stop. I'm working. I have a Yorkie. He's spoiled. He's my niece's, well, he's mine now, but he was my niece's dog, which is why he calls me Auntie. And yes, he calls me Auntie. So back to the flowers. The squash. More flowers. You know, I'm gonna do a pollinator paradise, which in my backyard, on the back side of my fence, or outside of my fence, there's an easement behind the property, and that easement, we had to bring our fence in basically 9 feet from the easement. So I have a good 5 feet that I could plant a bunch of flowers back there to attract the beneficial insects, the butterflies, bees, ladybugs, dragonflies. So I'm going to plant all the stuff back there that they will like. Put some little houses and stuff back there and some watering sources. Come here, puppy. Come say hi. Come say hi. Come here. Come, puppy. Come say hello. Come here. Let the people see him. Oh, puppy. Hi. This is the puppy. This is Bronx. Now, technically, he is not a puppy. He is 15. He has been a very good boy. Say hello. We got to give him a little haircut. He hasn't been feeling well, so he hasn't been able to go to the groomer because he can't really stand up. He's 15, so he has to wear diapers because he has accidents, but he's Auntie's sweetheart, and I have to take care of him. He doesn't like getting haircuts. He fights me when I give him a bath. He is the epitome of a cranky old man right now, but he's just the sweetest little thing, and he has the sweetest little face. Say hello. Say hi to the people. Say hi, I'm Bronx. I'm Bronx. I named him when he was a baby, and when my niece graduated from high school and was headed to college, she couldn't take him with him, and I said he's coming to live out his golden days, his golden years with Auntie. And of course, he came to me. He's now spoiled rotten and very needy. And now that he's slowing down, he is especially spoiled and cranky. And, you know, he likes to cuddle. Say, Auntie is soft and warm and squishy. And I need the snuggles. I need the snuggles with Auntie. And Auntie works so much. She's upstairs 10 hours a day. And now it's time for you to work. You spend time with Bronx. But Auntie got to put you down because I'm working. So say bye-bye to the people. Say bye-bye. Say see you later. Say see you in future videos. Okay, here, sit right here. Sit right there. There you go. There you go. Good puppy. All right, so back to seeds needs, and then we're gonna get on to the next one. Look at that. Oh, all the beautiful flowers. So you kind of get an idea of the method to my madness and what we're gonna be doing back there. Once all of this blooms, oh, it's gonna be magnificent. This is So Right seeds. They're another one that they've been incredible. Tons and tons and tons of seeds in each package. So yeah, that seeds needs. And let's move on. Let's see what's in here. Oh my goodness. More botanical interest. Look at these nasturtiums. Butterscotch nasturtium. Peach melba. This one is the cherry rose nasturtium, and tons of seeds in here. That's why I'll be able to put them all over the yard. I won't open that one because it's acting crazy. But let me show you my Baker Creek, and then I'll get off of here. Baker Creek, which is also known as rare seeds. It is the truth. They have some of the most beautiful seeds out there, and you just can't find them anywhere else. So when you see them, you're like, yep, gotta have it. I am a thrifter. I found this beautiful box years ago in Texas, and I've been carrying it all over the place with me. I didn't have a purpose for it other than it was stunning, and now I do. It's housing my seeds. It's housing my shame from my addiction. More Gardenary seeds. Love them. But let me show you my Baker Creek seeds. And if you ever want to see all of the seeds in detail, I'd be happy to do that, because it's fun. You know, this is one of the things that I do in the evening when I'm trying to decompress, when I can't get outside in the backyard. I play with my seeds. I organize them and just look at them and envision what they're going to look like once everything gets planted and starts growing. You know, I take inventory to make sure I have all of the fruits and veggies that, you know, I feel like I want to grow, that I would need. I have FOMO, fear of missing out, really, really bad. So I have to get the seeds when I see them, because I don't know if you all remember when Florette first released, you know, all of her beautiful dahlias. I want to say it was 2 years ago. I didn't get a single Florette dahlia because they were sold out everywhere. I said, you know what? It was dahlias and zinnias. I said, that will never happen to me again. So when I see the seeds that I want, I do not care if it is 2 a.m. If I already have, you know, $200 worth of seeds en route, I do not care. If I see something unique that I know that I want to grow, I'm going to stop everything that I'm doing and get those seeds, because the gardeners out here, they're serious. These people do not play about their seeds. They're buying thousands of dollars worth of seeds a pop, buying this stuff in bulk, because they're like me. They have FOMO too. You know, they want to make sure that their gardens are beautiful too. Another company, before I get into the Baker Creek seeds, is the Urban Farmer. Now, they had some really fun, unique seeds as well that I was not able to find anywhere else. I was specifically looking for gumfrina and strawberry seeds, and they had the most beautiful gumfrina, like peach and cream, and like all these unique colors. I thought they only came in like that light purple and that kind of mixture with the reds and oranges, but the color of gumfrina that I was able to find there, amazing. I got a bunch of alpine strawberry seeds, a bunch of pro cut sunflower seeds, They had this really cool white tomato. And then they had the one and only pineapple pig tomato. So I got some of those. And then they had peanuts too. I couldn't find peanuts anywhere, not realizing that I could literally go get raw peanuts in the supermarket and plant them. Puppy, please relax. Auntie's working. Auntie, you are always working and I don't like it. I don't like it, Auntie. So Urban Farmer, which, you know, I can share them as well. But really quick, let's go over some of the really beautiful Baker Creek seeds. Do you see this? The chocolate cherry sunflower. Now I know that we're past this season. They give a lot of information here. This one is 65 to 75 days to mature. I technically have 110 days, but I just don't want to chance it. I do not want to waste these gorgeous seeds. Stop it. You cut it out right now. Sit down. I just don't want to waste it. Marshmallow. Now, it just looks interesting. I'm just going to be honest. The sugar and spice marigold. Now this one is just going to be like for bouquets and for the beauty. It's not like the French marigold offering any specific benefits other than beauty and enjoyment. The seashell Cosmo. Look at that. Do you see that? Now a lot of people may have issue with this. It may be controversial, but I love dandelions and I'm going to contain them in my beds and grow bags. So this one is the Japanese dandelion. I think it's stunning. Look at this straw flower. This is the king size silvery white straw flower. Now, can we just take a moment to acknowledge that the straw flower is the it girl of the season? For years, I thought it was zinnias. I thought it was dahlias. It used to be hydrangeas. But the straw flower, she is that girl. And the combinations, they have them in tall, they have them in dwarf, they have them in rich autumn tones, bright neon tones, whites, pinks, peaches, corals. Stunning. The blooms are absolutely gorgeous. They are prolific. They look amazing. They dry beautifully. She's that girl. Look at this one. The king size silvery rose. Do you see her? Can you imagine when she starts growing in the yard? Oh, another beautiful flower, Scabiosa. Now the Scabiosas are especially beautiful because they're pods, like as they're forming, and then once the blooms leave, they are left with like the seed pods. They're stunning. They're so artistic in their own right. You know, like a lot of people grow them specifically for that seed pod, myself included. This is the Black Adder Dianthus. I really like the idea of adding some depth into the garden. So it can't all be pastels, right? You got to have some depth in there too. So I have quite a few of those really dark, purpley, chocolatey, black type of flowers that will be popped in the garden throughout. More Kilimanjaro marigolds, which I just think they're a beautiful creamy white, big fluffy blooms. Asters is another it girl. Like, do you see that? Look at that. The texture, the color. Another beautiful aster. This is the bright red aster, which I think is stunning. I want to show you guys some of my poppies. Oh, here's another dandelion. Can you even? The pink dandelion. Now, they'll be contained. I'm not going to let them grow wild, but they're just stunning and they have such wonderful health benefits as well. I know during the time that everyone was dealing with, you know, the health issue that shut down the world, one of the methods that I used to keep from getting sick, I didn't have that issue. Dandelion tea. I did a lot of herbs, a lot of tea. I did a lot of broth. Every day I was doing broth. Obviously, you know, the heavy cleaning and disinfecting and everything. but I went on a regimen of like elderberry syrup, elderberry vitamins, dandelion tea, um, because I was desperate. I am, I have a compromised immune system, so I needed to make sure that I stayed well. And dandelions, they're going to make an appearance in my tea garden and, my garden in general. This one is the Sissinghurst White Poppy. Now, my poppy collection is absolutely stunning, which I should have organized all this. Another Scabiosa. Beautiful. Oh, let's see. Again, trying to add some depth to the garden. Depth, texture, smell, color. This is the Black Swan Poppy. And look at her. She's stunning. Look at the center. This is the Purple Peony Poppy. Beautiful. The Poppy Supreme. Now the poppies are going to make the appearance in the fall. So we're going to get ready to get them started. They're going to show out in the fall. Look at that one. The fluff. Now this flower. Y'all don't even know how stunning she is. This is the Primrose Victoriana Gold Lace in Black. Ah! And she'll be planted with some other things to give like that visual interest. This is the Bowles Black Viola. And I just think that's so delicate and beautiful. Look at this Super Bissima Giant Alba Petunia. I'm sure I said that wrong. I'll have to look that up and go to Google to figure out how to say it properly. No judgment. This is the Giant Rose Petunia. The purple flower. Oh, stunning. This is that Scabiosa that I was talking about. Look, you grow it specifically for those pods. I have a little bit of red clover. Again, texture, visual interest. The pollinators need it. The salmon aster. Of course, the cone flowers, which is also a echinacea. So, and then some more of my zinnias. Beautiful, interesting colors. They have a lot of the thumb, the zinnias, the dwarfs or whatnot. I had to get the Queenie line because there's just not enough green flowers in the world. And green is my favorite color. So anyway, I mean, I have a ton more. This video is long enough. I have some storage solutions that I'm going to incorporate into my greenhouse that'll be, built out in the fall. Basically, my 3 different favorite colors of green. So I'll be able to store all of my seeds, my extra seeds that will not fit inside the books and all of my different boxes. I think I'm good on seeds, y'all. What do you think? I think I'm good. Hopefully they will last a couple of years because I want to plant every single one of them. And I want to see what each one of these seeds will do. I do hope as this channel grows and my community grows, I want to be able to do seed swaps. I want to be able to go to like the local churches, schools, nursing homes, and, take things for the people to plant. I want to plant up some seedlings and take and donate and give away. I want to, really get good at seed starting and take them to the farmer's market and into schools and get kids interested in growing. So you kind of have to do all that. You got to have the seeds in order to practice and learn. My puppy needs me. So thank you all for hanging out with me. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. Again, the companies, these are not, aside from Epic Gardening and Botanical Interest, where I am an affiliate, everything else is not sponsored. I purchased all of these things, including the Epic Gardening and Botanical Interest seeds and trays and beds with my own money before becoming an affiliate. I was so pleased with them. I did decide to become an affiliate. And you can too. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. I'd love to see what you guys are growing. Thanks for hanging out on the corner of Whymsy and Blyss. Bye.